What's up, guys? My name is Spec. Thank you all for the positive feedback on our original player discussion vid. So we've decided to upload the rest of the 40 minutes because you guys showed that you wanted to hear it all. So this is part two, and we will have subsequent videos to follow each of the next few days. So don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, especially subscribe so you know when those videos come out and you're the first in line to see all our videos. Thanks, guys, and enjoy the videos.
And because it's not just quick, it wasn't just a breakout year this year. It was definitely it was going to be happening here, and a lot of people seen it coming. He was putting up really good numbers, and just he had the rest of the team actually started scoring him some goals, so that's why he was so much more noticed this year. But I still think Lundqvist should have been higher than Miller, and Miller should have been a little bit lower because he has put up the numbers in the past. Just this year it wasn't his year this year.
Yeah, I do kind of agree to a certain extent because Miller, he kind of doesn't really have too much help in. I guess they're actually kind of the same. Both defenses are kind of a bit shoddy. I'd give the nod to the Rangers, but I guess Buffalo also has Tyler Myers coming up, and he's a 6'8" beast. But no, I see where you come from. It kind of makes sense to me, but uh, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know who I'd rate number one. I don't know. It's like people tend to throw Price's name in there. Yeah, he's really good. His stats don't really go about it, but he is playing on a lower end team in Montreal. So, and you also got Quick. It's kind of tough to name the top one. I think if anything, they'd all be the same because
Yeah,
they all have different strengths and weaknesses.
no, I completely agree. And I basically just while we're talking about goalies here, and you can throw Kiprusoff and Howard into this discussion, not the top goalie discussion, but just how they're a little bit underrated, just the same way as I just think they're underrated. I think Kiprusoff is basically the reason Calgary even wins games over there
Yeah,
because he stands on his head and he does it night in night out, and I don't think he gets quite enough recognition, sorry, in EA. Like, I mean, I think he's at 87. I think that is
yeah,
where
he's
he's
an
at.
87. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's even a little bit low for him. I mean, he does so much for Calgary, and it bugs me. I'm an Oilers fan, and I'm saying this, and I truly believe Kiprusoff is underrated, and it goes the same for Howard and what he's done there, and I think he's a little bit
yeah.
underrated there too.
Howard had a monster of a season last year.
No, yeah, that's exactly it. I mean, he's not like he's just came out of nowhere. It's not like it's a 1 year thing. He's done it for a little while now.
SOB next year will prove what he's worth without the Lidstrom back there.
Yeah, and that's true. And their defense kind of got decimated there, losing Stewart and Lidstrom as well. I mean, Stewart was a little bit lower end, obviously. I mean, Nick Lidstrom's a god essentially, but
Yeah,
Brad
Stewart
Stewart,
was great defensively.
yeah, and
He was
Stewart
solid
helped out.
there.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's exactly it. And next up here we got the Phoenix. They're not all on Phoenix anymore. I mean, they lost Whitney and they could lose Doan, but as of right now, Yandel, Doan, Whitney, and Verbata are all too low, in my opinion. And I think it's ridiculous. Yandel is the one that it makes me the most, it bugs me the most because Yandel is like a shut down defenseman. Like he is amazing. He's one of the top defensemen in the league, in my opinion. And he is an 82. And I
The
think,
th- the thing is, he's rated so low is because this was his first real breakout year. Because last season he only played 16 games.
I know, but look at Carlson. I mean, Carlson's put up the numbers before, but he's not really like before the season. Not really many people were talking about him, and it's just the same thing. I think Yandel is just. Well, sorry, he's an 83. He's an 83, but I still think that's too low. He was huge for them in the playoffs. I mean, if Smith was the reason they made it as far as they did, but their defensemen were a huge part in that too.
Yeah, it's tough because you have these like great guys that come up, they have these great first seasons, and you're like, oh yeah, I want to see this guy like have like his overall be crazy high just because of the season you have. Then you look like the past seasons he hasn't had like many like you said Verbata. What he had a breakout season this year. What he had like 35 some goals. He hasn't put that up before. So I don't know if he honestly deserves to be rated any higher. Say, like Whitney, yes, Whitney he has been putting up decent numbers his whole thing, but what might bring him down is just because he's older, his legs might not be the same, and his defensive, he is actually minus 60, not no, minus 76 for his career. So defensively, he may be a liability. That also may be the teams that he has played on. When you play on shittier teams, he kind of comes with the territory.
And I just for the record here, and just to throw it out there, Verbata has actually had two 20-goal seasons before, and he's also almost hit 30 once. And I still 35 goals is a little bit like that's a fairly sizable season. Like I mean,
Oh yeah, not many.
not many people hit that high. And Whitney, and I understand the old factor, and that this one goes the same for Brodeur, and that one also gets me there. Is Brodeur's an 82, and that rubs me the wrong way in my opinion. I mean, that sure they're old, but they're still in the league and they're still putting up the numbers. I mean, they should have a little bit more respect than that, and that's my opinion on that. And it goes the same for Doan there, and I think Doan's put up like offensive and defensive numbers, so I think he should have been a little bit higher than he is as well.
What is Doan? Is he 83?
Doan is
82, is it? Oh,
yeah, Doan's 82, yeah. And I think he should be higher. I mean, he led that team, and he's like him and Verbata are 82, and that's
Doan's a tricky one because Doan it's a lot more than just the stats can say. His leadership, that's a bit, you can't really rate that.
But
So that's where he's heavily most, because really I couldn't, like, going into real talk NHL,
yeah.
I couldn't justify spending $7 million for a 50-point getter, 25 goal scorer. However many goals, I think he got less than that. So I couldn't justify doing that on leadership alone. So
No, and
if that's how high people value that, then
I completely understand that. Like that's a little ridiculous. I mean, come on, seriously. But he's a good defensive player, and he can put the puck in the net too. Like he's a grinder and he's a power forward, so he gets the job done on the front end. And I think it's a little bit ridiculous.
yeah,
And yeah. But anyways, next up here we got the LA forwards, and this one I think is the one that bugs me the most. I'm like, I mean, come on, Brown is an 84.
Brown's never been that much of an offensive powerhouse, to be honest.
I understand that, but come on, like I look at I mean, this year I understand it's just this year, and I don't know.
It was
I
his
think
playoffs. This year wasn't too spectacular. He only had like 20-something goals.
I still think he's a little underrated. I mean, he's an 82, 84? 84. He's an 84. And
84.
It rubs me the wrong way that they put him as low as he did, because I mean, he led them through the playoffs. He led them to the cup, and he gets the short end of the stick. He's the lowest out of all those top 6 guys. And that he's lower than Gagne. Like I mean, Simon Gagne's put up numbers before, and
I've always liked me some Gagne, but yeah, he has had lots of injury troubles.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. It's the injuries, and it's he doesn't ever play a full season. Brown has the least amount of games he's played in the season is 79 since he started playing full seasons. That's pretty, and he's always put up over. For the last 6 seasons here, he's got 5 seasons. Last 5 seasons, he's put up 60 or 50 or more. The lowest was 53, and his highest was 60. And I mean, that's some pretty dang good consistency. 7-point spread over the last 5 years. That's some decent offense.
That is true. That's good. That was a good point.
He's amazing defensively. I mean, I don't know, like his plus minus wasn't too huge in the first few years there, but I don't know. Like I think he got short shafted on that one.
Mm.
And then next up there, Gagne equal to Kopitar. Kopitar is an offensive player, and Kopitar.
But you gotta think this is now weighted differently. I'd say Gagne has more speed and is better defensively. That's where he rises, where Kopitar outshines him probably tremendously in the offensive.
And I mean, it's not like it's not like Kopitar is a slouch defensively either, though. I mean, he puts
No,
up,
but yeah,
and that's where I'm coming from. Is I mean, Kopitar is kind of an overall player too. He just has more of a offensive upside, and I think, I think that's a little bit ridiculous.